This is the Sahn Outdoors Podcast.
Dropped like a sack of taters. He's dead right there. He's dead right there.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Sahn Outdoors Podcast. Before we get started today, just like to talk about a couple of things. First thing, if you haven't checked out our social media pages, please go check them out, like them, subscribe, comment, leave us feedback, whatever you want to do. You can find us on Instagram at Sahn, SAHN _outdoors, and also on Facebook, Sahn Outdoors. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's just Sahn Outdoors, has our logo on it, pretty easy to find. You can also check out our website, which we host all of our podcasts and YouTube videos on there as well, and there's a shop and everything. One thing that we wanted to talk about before we started today's podcast is a little initiative that we kind of saw floating around social media a few years ago, and that is called Project Mountain Cleanup. What Project Mountain Cleanup is this initiative where we've all seen it. You go out into the woods, the marshes, public land pretty much, and there's just garbage everywhere, from beer cans to just trash, pallets, where people go shooting. There's targets, TVs, computers, dishwashers, mattresses, couches, you name it. You can find it out in public lands. So we saw this initiative that kind of died out, and it was people going around picking up trash, cleaning up the mountain. So this is not our idea at all, but something that we're trying to help push and promote and stress to people the importance of, and that is cleaning up public lands and leaving it better than you found it. Now, I was always taught as a kid, growing up doing scouting, to leave the land better than I found it. You know, practicing no trace camping was a big thing. You want to pretty much not be able to tell that anyone has been in an area when you go to the mountains. Sadly, that's not the case in a lot of places today. So we started pushing this 2 years ago pretty heavily, and kind of gone off and on with it as far as promoting it on social media. It's always a practice that we've been a part of, but that's cleaning up things when we're out in the mountains. We found an old bag that someone had used, an old salt bag. Someone had hauled salt in, like 6 miles into the backcountry, and we found it while we were out elk hunting, and we actually packed that thing out. I mean, didn't add any weight to the packs really, but you know, it's just surprising the places you can find this garbage, and it just flabbergasted us. So we had a really good response. About this time last year, we were posting on social media, encouraging people to get out, clean up, and we did a little giveaway. And so we've once again reinstated the Project Mountain Cleanup 2018, and we're encouraging everybody to get out there and clean up. And as a little reward, if you'll make posts to social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, you can tag us in your posts. Make sure you tag us, not just mention us in your story there or whatever, but actually tag us in your photo and use the hashtag Project Mountain Cleanup 2018. And we look forward to seeing what kinds of treasures or garbage you guys are finding out in the mountains or marshes or just any public lands, wherever you like to recreate. It doesn't really matter. There's not really a restriction as far as the place that you can clean up. But yeah, just make some posts. We'd love to see it. We've already seen some posts coming through. We want to really get people engaged, and there will be some prizes. Not really a deadline yet as to when we'll be ending the giveaway and giving out these prizes, but follow our social media for more information on that. Now, as a little segue into our next piece, we would like to organize some group cleanups, and we're located in Utah, so we're trying to find a couple of dates that work. we'll be posting those on social media. And we'd like to just get anybody and everybody who can make it out for an afternoon or something, and we'll just clean up some public lands. We have a few places in mind. We're trying to nail down some dates. We're trying to get some giveaways as well, make it a fun experience. And if you're in Utah or around and you'd like to come, watch for those posts on our social media. If you're not in Utah but you'd still like to do something, we'd love to help you organize a cleanup day like this in your state, in your area. So if you'd like our help with that, please contact us. Send us a message on social media. You can email us, sahnoutdoors@gmail.com. And I'll make a little bit better effort to leave our public lands better than we found them. And last but not least, we'd like to thank our sponsors of this podcast, King's Camo. King's has been a great partner to work with. They're very engaged in many conservation efforts and trying to get youth involved in the outdoors. They make a great camo at an affordable price. If you haven't checked it out, we've done a podcast on King's. We met with them in Salt Lake City and talked about some of their new pieces coming out, some of their new clothing. They're dropping a real tree pattern on their camo this year. You can be finding that later this spring or early summer. Check them out, kingscamo.com. At checkout, use the code SAHN, Sahn. That'll save you an extra 15% on anything. That even works on sale items. So go check it out. Helps us out. King's is great. We really appreciate their support.
Check.
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah, we're ready to go, man.
Check 1, 2.
Right on.
You can hear us?
Yep, I got you.
Good at that?
Got
Cool.
you.
Which is
Awesome. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
well, real quick, you're right. I mean, we're here with Chad Mendes with Finz and Featherz. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How's it going,
man?
Yeah.
First time with Sahn Outdoors, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. So, Chad, we just wanted to kind of talk a little bit, first off, just kind of as an introduction. I know you have a huge fan base, a huge following, but for those who maybe aren't as familiar with Finz and Featherz, could you just give us a little bit of a background with how it started, how it came about?
Yeah, so Finz and Featherz is something that me and a couple buddies, kind of thought of the last, probably 6 years. And, it's something we wanted to try to do, but, with all my fighting and all the other stuff with training, and we just, plus with their schedules, we just didn't have the time to get it up and running. And so in 2015, I was like, you know what? I better start this now while I'm still fighting so that when I'm done fighting it, it's already established, up and running, and I have something to fall back on when I'm done. So let's, go ahead and do this. So we got everything all set up, got our business license, got everything situated and in order, and we launched right into December 2015. So 2016 was basically our first full year. And I'll be honest, we had no clue how this was gonna take. We didn't know what people were gonna think of it. But so basically, what Finz and Feather is first. Let me tell you what that is. It's we call it a celebrity hunting and fishing service. So we put together a full year-long schedule of different trips all over the U.S. We even go to New Zealand for red stag and stuff like that. And then what we do is we have about 20 different celebrity pro staff members, different UFC fighters, pro baseball, basketball, football players, actors, just a mix of different celebrities. And we'll put those, 1 or 2 of those on each trip with clients. So we'll book clients up. They'll get to go on a cool hunt, cool fishing trip, and now they get to do it alongside one of the people maybe they watch on TV or they watch play in a sport or something like that. So it's kind of just a new, unique twist to something in the outdoors, So yeah, we launched that in 2015. 2016 was our first full year, and we booked up everything that we had to offer that year, and had an amazing year. Everybody had a great time. Got lucky and tagged out on everything that we had. All the clients were super stoked. They had great time getting to meet all the celebrities, but also getting to bring home a bunch of meat and some really cool trophies. A lot of them rolled over to the year 2017.
Oh, that's awesome.
Picked up a couple new trips and added a bunch new clients as well. Last year was another awesome year. So we sold out everything last year as well. And now we're into 2018. We're about halfway booked up for the year.
And that's going to fill up fast.
Yeah, so we're trying
your booth
to.
Is
we're trying to
pumping right now.
fill up here at Utah, and we also had a big expo in Sacramento, which is where we're based out of. We pulled a lot of stuff from there as well. So it's great. We got some cool merchandise, which is something new for Finz and Featherz. Just basically, some great marketing for us. People like to.
They're really sharp looking.
Yeah, thanks,
I really
man.
like the hats.
Yeah, we just launched the leather patch stuff, which is really in right now. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
We got some cool shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops. So just kind of mixing it up. But it's great, man. It's great, like seeing people walking around wearing a Finz and Featherz hat or shirt or something.
Makes you smile a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's way neat.
Touches your heart.
Yeah, that's basically what Finz and Featherz is and how it started. And I'm just having a damn good time with it. I love traveling all over the place and getting to go on really cool hunts and getting to do it with people that have all the same interests and same love for the outdoors that I do. So
in the short time that you've done it,
yep.
What has been your favorite hunt that you've been able to partake of or participate in, whether it's with a client or just you yourself so far?
Out of all, are you talking about just since we launched or just ever? Like I have a.
How about each one? Yeah.
Okay,
both.
so my favorite hunt ever happened probably 2 years ago. My wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, but when we did a backcountry elk hunt up in Oregon, my dad, her, and me, and we had all our stuff packed in. Lived in a wall tent for a week, wood burning stove, cots, the whole 9 yards.
The ultimate elk hunt.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I ended up killing a really nice bull down in this really, really big canyon with her right before dark. And, my wife, she's just now getting into hunting, so she's never really been around it much. I mean, her dad did it, but it's like whitetail stuff in the Midwest. And so I'm having her hold this bull, like the elk legs open while I'm gutting it. And she's never seen anything like that before. So it was really cool to be able to share that moment with her. And then also my dad was there with us and, I helped him. He got on some really nice bulls, but just was never able to get it done. But just spending that time with her and with my dad was probably, and I really think still to this day, there's a couple that are probably close to it, but my favorite hunt.
The ultimate.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great time.
And then Finz and Featherz, oh man, that's a tough one.
I don't want you to burn any bridges with anybody.
Yeah.
So be careful. Tread lightly, right?
I'd say our Monticello, Utah trip we do the last couple of years has been unreal. We usually get like 8 to 10 tags. So it's just like a huge group. A lot of buddies that know each other will book together. So
what are you hunting?
Mule deer.
Mule deer down there?
Southern Utah. And basically we just get this really big cabin. Everybody stays together. So it's like, camp camaraderie. Just everyone's having a good time. Everyone goes out and they hunt on their own with their designated guide. And then they come back with stories or with a buck that they killed. And, it's just a lot of fun. I think for the Finz and Featherz stuff, that's probably my go-to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, real quick, we don't want to take too much of your time today, but we really wanted to come over and kind of ask you a little bit about backpacks and what you like and maybe didn't really necessarily like in your time spent hunting that you've had. I'm sure you've had different backpacks, different styles of packs.
Yep.
I just kind of want to ask you, first off, when you're looking at a hunting backpack, what's the number one thing, the first thing that it's got to have?
For me, don't mind the elk call. Sorry, guys.
No, no,
it's
okay.
there's a few things that I look for with backpacks. I'll be honest, like a lot of the hunts that I do are, overnight or maybe a 2-day trip. So I'm not usually going 20, 30 miles in. So I'm not needing one of the big, external or internal frame packs. I do have them and I use them and I've used them before, but most of the stuff that I do, I like keeping more like day pack style stuff. The things that I look for, obviously a water bladder compartment. You obviously got to have that stuff in there. I hate having my water bottle if I don't have that in there, sloshing around, flopping all over the place, making noise, leaking in my bag.
yeah,
that's always a pain in the butt. So a compartment for that, or something where the hose is able to exit the backpack without having to have a zipper halfway zipped up, to where it latches on the strap here. That's something that I really like. A couple other things, keeping hot spots away from my back. There's been times where backpacks I just can't adjust them right. So obviously the manufacturer when they start making this, if it's a well-known manufacturer, they know what they're doing, they can figure out ways to adjust it for almost all body styles.
So it's just not rubbing on your back.
And there's some packs that like there's something that's not adjusted right, but there's no way to adjust to fix it. So you're kind of like, well, now what do I do?
Right.
You know, I'm a shorter guy, so a lot of the times the backpack will like rub on my butt cheeks, and I'll get like, after a long period of time, I'll get like almost like blisters on my butt cheeks, and it's like, come on, man.
Saddle sore from your
Yeah.
backpack.
So that's a pain in the butt, literally.
Maybe you could like have whoever, you know, create a spot like butt pads on the pants.
Yeah,
that could be like an
exactly.
accessory,
Uh-huh.
rather instead of on the pack.
Or just find a good pack that fits your body.
Yeah, fits,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let's go.
So it's got to
there.
fit right.
Exactly, and there's certain ones that I like a lot, and it's just like they're not meant for shorter guys like me. You know, they're meant for guys that are obviously a lot taller. But you know, so that's definitely something. What else? I know there was a couple other things I was thinking of, and I'm drawing a blank on it.
Do you
now.
have, like, obviously when you go, like for me, when I'm looking at a hunting pack, like right now I use the Outdoorsman's pack, and the reason why is because they've got a big external slot for your tripod and your spotting
Yes,
scope.
that's what I was thinking about. Yep. And then, so obviously spotting scope, that's key. I've actually owned a couple of backpacks in the past that didn't have a location for a spotting scope, so that's kind of the same situation as a water bottle. You're just like putting it inside, and it's like flopping all over the place. You're trying to be quiet, and it's making a bunch of noise. So being able to, you know, strap that down and tighten it up, that's key. And then also, in a lot of backpacks nowadays, there's the new technology that's coming out with it, and these ones actually are one of the ones that have it, but a weapon holding system.
Okay.
And not only just holding, but allowing it to be released without having to take the whole backpack off your shoulders
Yeah.
and unstrapping it. And then, you know, so if you're walking in, say you're hiking in, I don't want to be holding my gun in my hands the whole time. Where, you know, some of these backpacks, you're basically, your gun or whatever it is strapped in
on the very back.
on the very back, and you have a lever up top on the opposite side shoulder, and you see a deer or a bull or something standing there 50 yards in front of you frozen. You know, instead of taking your backpack off and having to unstrap and then load a bullet in and shoot, you know, you just pull the release, pulls out real quick, and you're basically ready to fire. So
that's awesome.
I mean, I think that's super cool, and I've seen it on a couple backpacks. These ones are the Vorn is definitely one that has it. I think Kuyu's talked about coming out with one, and I know there's a couple others that do as well. But I know there's a bunch that have it to where you can just strap it in and lock it, and it's good to go. But like I said, now you're walking in,
undo
you got to
the
take
hip
everything
belt
off,
and everything else.
Miss an opportunity.
Exactly.
Trying to
So-
do your weapon.
Not stealthy when you got to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm,
That's for sure.
Another thing too, I've used like so say I'm getting to the top of a mountain or something, I want a glass. You know, I've used backpacks for if you're taking a nap and you want to lay down and use it as a pillow, or even sitting on it and so your butt's not going numb, sitting on a rock for an hour or 2 hours while you're glassing. Certain packs that allow maybe a padding on the external that you can take in and out. If you know you're going to be glassing and you don't need to pack a bunch of stuff for the day, you can put that pad in there. You know you're going to be sitting on it. If you obviously aren't going to be doing that and you need more space, you can take it out. I think that's kind of something that might be cool in a backpack. I haven't really seen that much, but
I gotcha. No, for sure. I always, I mean, my pack's really kind of, it's got an external frame, so sometimes I'll lean up against it. But
Yep.
if you had an actual setup to where you're not breaking anything, or it's got a
Exactly.
pad to
Yep,
protect
yep.
everything too. That I haven't thought about that. But have you, now kind of tying everything together, as a UFC fighter, have you ever taken UFC buddies out on like a scouting trip as training, like a workout? Do you tie that into your training at all?
I mean, I'll
or
be
is it
honest.
just so specific.
Yeah, most of the guys that I train with don't hunt.
Yeah.
A lot of them talk about wanting to do it, and they see everything that I do. You know, being able to eat all the lean meat and like have my freezer full of it year round. That like really motivates them to want to do it. But there's a couple guys. We have a guy, Tyler Diamond, who's actually working on getting in the UFC right now. He's a big outdoorsman. He hunts, fishes a lot. And then TJ Dillashaw, who will be in here on Sunday signing for Finz and Featherz. But yeah, those are probably the only two guys that I have trained with or train with now that fight and hunt and stuff. But yeah, I've gone on really cool trips with TJ, which, you know, there's some ones that are definitely more physically demanding than others. But all in all, yeah, I mean, I treat it like it's a hunt. I try not to focus too much on the working out part of it because that's my job.
Right.
And so that's kind of like the hunting and the outdoor part of it is like my disconnect from the training. So,
Correct.
you know, a lot of people are like, oh, do you like train for your hunts and stuff? And I'm like, no. I mean, I train for my job, and then I'm just lucky enough to already be in shape from that to be able to go hunt.
And that's awesome because we did a podcast a couple weeks ago talking about there's a difference between beach shape and hunting shape, right? And, and there's a lot of people. You could go grab a guy who runs a marathon and say, okay, now let's go hunt, and he'll be out of breath, dying. And so for you to be able to still be in relatively good shape, the training that you do can translate well into being in shape on the mountain.
I mean, I totally understand that. A lot of people don't understand what actual being in shape means. Like they see a guy with a six-pack and they automatically assumed, oh, he's in shape. Like, I pretty much have a six-pack year-round, but for an example, like when I fought Connor, I took that on 10 days' notice. I was out hunting, fishing, not training for a fight, but I weighed in. Like, I still have a six-pack. I still look lean, but I'm not in
fighting shape.
Like, it's completely different. You know what I mean? I might
the cardio aspect.
Yeah, I look
of it, right?
like I'm not obviously not like a fat slob, but I'm not ready to like go 5 rounds with someone that's like in prime peak shape. You know,
Right.
So I totally get that, and it makes sense for me. But sometimes people don't understand it.
Yeah. No, I get that for sure.
Chad, in your eyes, what defines a successful hunt?
I mean, obviously a quick, clean kill and awesome harvest of a cool animal is definitely successful. But I mean, there's been hunts that I've gone on that I didn't even kill anything, and I consider it a successful hunt. It's for me, it's just like I said, being able to disconnect from all the craziness, all the media, all the training, like killing myself, redlining my body, and being uncomfortable, getting punched in the face and kneed in the face and elbowed, and just kind of disconnecting from all that stuff and just being away from it all. Getting out there where it's quiet.
Nobody's punching you in the face.
Nobody's punching you in the face. And so just getting out on cool hunts, like the hunt that I told you about, the elk hunt. Like, if I wouldn't have got a bull, all in all, that would have been one of my probably top 5 hunts that I've ever been on, and obviously getting the bull just made it that much sweeter. But
cherry on top, right?
Yeah, for sure. So
that's awesome. So one last question before we let you get back to everybody visiting your booth here. What is your favorite animal and place to hunt?
I'm definitely going to say elk on that. Bugling elk with a bow is unbelievable.
You can't beat that.
Man, and I absolutely love hunting in Utah. I mean, I've hunted here quite a bit, and what? My wife's talking crap over here. Yeah, I hunt in Utah quite a bit. I love this state, and actually have thought about moving out here quite a bit. So
do it.
It's definitely on the radar. We'll see.
We'd be glad to have you.
Yeah, it's definitely on the radar. So we'll see.
Okay.
Well, Chad, thanks for all your time.
Thank you
Good
guys.
luck in your fighting career and also
Appreciate
with your
it.
business.
It was nice to meet you, Chad.
Very much. Thank you guys.
Yeah.